Little countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. We are joined today by Luke Staley. Luke, welcome back. Good to have you. Good to
Thank you
see
very
you.
much. I got the right things shirt representing,
Nice.
man.
Appreciate it. Got it going here. All right. So last time we spoke, you were getting ready to get married, and you've accomplished that, and you also have something else along the way.
Yeah.
Break it down.
Thank you for remembering. Yeah, no, I got married pretty shortly after my previous fight at Stellar last year. Got married in January. And then April of next year, my wife and I are expecting our first kid. So
Nice.
super excited about that. And we find out the gender this week, fight week. So
ooh, even better.
I don't know if it's gonna give me like a little extra motivation for the fight. I don't even know, man. Like I think it will, but like I don't know. My wife and I are super excited, and truthfully, like you don't even know what like the emotions you're gonna experience as a parent. I mean, you know, but
Right.
like for me, it's unknown. Like I say I'm gonna be excited, but like my parents are like, oh, you don't even like know yet, like how excited you're gonna be. I'm like, okay, yeah.
It's a mixture of different emotions for everyone. I mean, usually everyone's pretty excited and happy about it, but to say what you're going to feel exactly when that happens, when you first hold the child, it's different. I always thought about it's a game changer, but it is. Like that's the only way to put it. Like it's pretty vague, but it's going to be your emotions, your wife's emotions, and it's going to be something special. So
yeah, I can't wait to teach him or her how to shoot some doubles.
yeah, congrats though, man. That's awesome. So do you find out before you fight?
Yeah, so I think actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the nurse put it like right in an envelope, and we're gonna give it to my parents or my wife's parents, and we're gonna do a little gender reveal. So
Nice.
maybe I'm gonna wait till after the fight so I can enjoy a slice of cake and a piece of
Right.
fried chicken
That's
or
smart.
whatever. Like, that week of the fight's great and everything, but man, I like my food when I'm celebrating something. So
That's smart.
I'm skinny. I'm working with a nutritionist and a meal prep company for this fight. John's Fit Meals, a meal prep company that sponsors a bunch of athletes in the area, and they've really changed the way my pre-fight and in-camp diet has gone.
Nice.
They've been incredible, and I'm working with a nutritionist named Eric Penna, who works with a bunch of UFC fighters, Bellator fighters, PFL, all the guys at the highest level, biggest gyms. And he's working with me at a price that a regional fighter can afford. And for me, I think it's really worth the investment. I feel like the weight cutting process and the rehydration process is going to be my best ever. And I
Nice.
wouldn't necessarily call myself a vet, but as I continue to get more fights, right, it's my third pro fight. I'm trying to continue to become more professional. So my diet and my weight cut feel so dialed in for this fight. I feel like
Nice.
I'm gonna be massive on fight night, but I'm gonna have the smoothest cut and the most energy that I've ever had. I mean, the combination of those two, just excited to fight as a more professional each time I step into the cage.
Very cool. And that name sounds familiar. I feel like, so I know obviously some college wrestler guys and whatnot. I feel like that sounds familiar. Maybe they were linked up with someone that wrestled for Navy a couple of years ago that I know. So maybe that is. But if that is, I mean, that's awesome. So we'll give them a shout out and put them in the, put a link down there and check it out. So you mentioned your third pro fight. You're kind of becoming the guy that, if I was a referee or a judge, if I was a judge, I would circle your bouts on my card, because that would be like the lunch break. That'd be like, the bathroom break, because that's what you do. Your fights always end early and in spectacular fashion. I mean, is that what your goal is for this third pro fight, or what?
Oh, absolutely, man. I think we talked last fight. It's been like 5 years since I've been to a judge's decision after my first amateur finish back at Cowboy Cerrone's fight show. I win or lose, I have not seen a judge's scorecard.
Nice.
Every win I've had since then has been a finish, and um, if I lose, I'm going out of my shield, but I'm not going to be down on a judge's scorecard, shelling up, trying to survive. I'm going to keep going at it
Right.
till the end of the bell. Yeah, this is a really exciting fight. I'm really excited for Kaleo Mahula and my opponent. From Extreme Couture, comes from a great camp, going to be a good test for me. He's by far the cleanest striker that I fought before. He has 2 knockouts under 60 seconds. He comes out swinging hard. But for me, I feel like it's the most fun I've had solving a puzzle pre-camp, the strategy, the tactics that we're going to be implementing. And really, this fight is going to come down to who can make this fight take place, uh, dictate which spheres this fight takes place in, man. Um, I've got some tricks up my sleeve on the feet, but I'm trying to get him to the ground and submit him. And he doesn't shoot at all in his fights.
Mm.
He keeps it on the feet. So as generic as it sounds, I think it's really going to be a striker versus grappler matchup. Could he come out and surprise me with a double? Absolutely. Do I have a couple of counters and some tactics we're going to implement on the feet? Most definitely, we're going to try to catch him there. But I think that the narrative of this fight is going to be who can dictate where it takes place.
Okay, so the game plan is to put him against the cage a little bit and get wrestling there. Or are you trying to take him down more open space?
We definitely have a variety of pathways, both on the
Okay.
fence and in the open. And then obviously, if he's watched my fights, he's anticipating me getting them to the ground. So using the threat of the wrestling to set up knockout blows, right? Using the threat of the wrestling to set up strikes, keep him guessing. I have a pretty diverse arsenal of attacks that I'm really excited to show the fans that we've been working on. So in my head, making reads, I'm not even quite sure what attacks I'll be throwing at him. So I know that he doesn't know what kind of attacks that I'm going to be throwing at him.
Right.
He doesn't.
Nice.
Diego Sanchez said it. He's like, man, my opponent doesn't even know what I'm going to do next because I don't even know what I'm going to do next. Always made me laugh. Yeah, really, the way me and my team approach, at least me specifically, shout out to Powerhouse MMA, my jiu-jitsu coach, Chris Bauer, and Terry Bartholomew, really our head coach, Rob McCraw. The way that we operate, for me, Rob is a great coach. He knows that every fighter works different. He has a different game plan for every fighter. But the way him and I work is he gives me a set of tools. We work on a specific set of weapons, and he gives me a pretty loose game plan. And then he's like, here's the different things we can do. Go out, make your reads, and see what opens up. Whereas other fighters in the gym, he kind of knows how their psychology works, how they tend to freeze or flow. Maybe he'll give them a locked-in game plan, like go out, do this, don't deviate from the plan. Make sure you keep the fight here, get the fight here. But for me, him and I have had a great working relationship where he gives me a variety of different tactics, pathways to victory, and then he goes, all right, go out and kind of make your reads, use your creativity, and that's exactly, this fight's no different.
Nice.
Yeah, it could be a knockout, it could be a submission, but I'm definitely going to be trying to to finish him before the 15 minutes.
Awesome. So you mentioned Bauerhouse. You mentioned Terry Bartholomew as well. You have a lot of guys from Bauerhouse on this card. What's that like for training?
Man, my favorite part of fighting has got to be well, first and foremost, the platform to be a Christian athlete and glorify Jesus on this platform. But closely following that, my second favorite thing about fighting is the people, man. Like getting to be on that 8-week journey to battle with your brothers, some of your best friends, the people who during these 8 weeks I spend more time with than my wife. Like it's cool, man. Like these are my brothers, and the energy getting ready for a camp. You got multiple guys, 4 guys in total from our gym training from this. The amount of fans that we're bringing out, we're selling out like a whole section of the White Comic Go, right? everyone's excited. The team rallying behind us. And that fight we experience, cutting weight together, going to those stare downs together, like you really do feel like like a team going to battle, right?
Right.
It's cool. So this experience is one that I'm gonna savor, I'm gonna cherish for sure. I don't know what fight's gonna be my last fight. Could be this one, could be 10 fights from now. But I enjoy the process and the experience of every fight as if it could be my last. And I even enjoy the cutting weight. I even enjoy the traveling. Um, all of that together is it's fun, you know. That's why I do this.
I agree. Yeah, they always say, what is it? Misery loves company, right? So like you can be more accountable when you have people coming in with the same goal and the same mindset, the same deadline, right? You have to be ready by October 2nd. So yeah, I think you're right on it. So I'm assuming that you would rather this be the way you train as opposed to maybe being the only fighter with a fight coming up or something else, right?
Yeah, except for Raiden, the heavyweight. Screw that guy. He always eats in front of us. You know, makes us. He makes
I
fun
will
of
say,
us
I will say,
lighter weights.
as a coach for wrestling, that's one of my pet peeves. If there's people on the bus who are eating pizza or something, I'm like, no, like you're not cracking the box open. You got, Dave or Kyle up here cutting weight, spitting, or doing whatever, whatever's not supposed to be done. And like we're not doing that. As a team, you
I
need
think it's
to
funny. So
stop it.
I've started coaching high school wrestling. In fact, I might bump into you at some dual meets. I know
Yeah,
that
awesome.
you were in Frederick County a couple times last year. Um, I coach at Frederick High School. The head coach, Jeff Allen, is a very experienced head
Okay.
coach. He coached double-digit seasons. I forget what high school, but he's been at it a while. He doesn't like when guys eat in front of other guys,
Yeah.
but I think it's funny. Like if someone's eating in front of Jeff's a hypocrite. He was eating a cheeseburger in front of me yesterday. He knows I'm cutting weight. We were working the concession stand last night, but yeah, if like other for whatever reason, the cheerleading team, like they always get McDonald's and walk through the wrestling room like on their way to practice or out of
Ugh.
practice or whatever. And Jeff always gets upset. But I think it's funny when I see my boys suffering. I'm like, it builds mental toughness.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's true. That's true. Let's see. All right. So you mentioned your career, and the it's MMA, so it could literally be your last fight. It could be 10 fights later, et cetera, et cetera. Have you heard anything from a bigger promotion? A bigger regional promotion, or other people who are trying to sign you and get you to come out there?
Yes, most definitely. We've had multiple offers with some bigger promotions. Obviously, not the UFC. You could probably guess the one or the two that we've heard from.
Yeah.
One of those fights we accepted, and the opponent turned us down. I would have loved that fight. One of them they accepted, and because of an injury and a scheduling conflict, I had to turn down, which bothers me. And then one of them was a short notice fight, up a pretty significant amount of weight. And as much as we would have liked the platform, that was the third time this particular big promotion reached out to us. So we know, my manager and I, that I'm on their radar, and we just thought, you know what, there's better timing for this. We love this show here at Stellar. We got a chance to fight this fight, a really good opponent. And we think that this one makes a little bit more sense. And
Okay.
maybe we'll go on to that. We've been talking about maybe trying to get on short notice even before the end of the year if this particular promotion has a show in November or December possibly. But
Mm,
yeah, I'd love
okay.
to take that platform. Obviously, the money's probably going to be about the same, but the exposure is worth so much more. I think
Yeah.
it'd be a really cool experience, to get to fight on one of those, second or third, probably most popular promotions before the end of my career. But we'll see. We'll see where it takes us.
Yeah. You're still young, and I feel like you're getting right at that, like, I don't want to jinx you or anything, but you're getting right at that record where Dana White is going to start noticing, like, hey, get him on the contender series. Like, this guy's got 4 or 5 fights. He's still young. Get him on. So Carl Williams, who also fought on the Stellar Fights card with you the last
Yeah,
time
that's
around,
right.
he got his big shot on Dana White's Contender Series.
Yeah,
And
he's
he
in the
actually,
UFC now. Shout
that's
out Carl
awesome. Like
Williams.
seeing that for you guys gives me goosebumps. So
That's my media buddy last year.
right. So
Um,
I
yeah,
mean,
I got a couple
it's
more
in
wins
there.
to go before Contender Series, but you know, just stringing them together one at a time. And the thing that I've definitely noticed is the guys who get on the Contender Series around that 5 or 6 win mark versus the guys who get on the Contender Series more around that 8, 9 fight win mark. It's finishes, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
no doubt bigger promotions will pay attention to that, and you can expedite your ticket to an opportunity if you're going out there and putting on good performances. So yeah, after I win this fight, I'm gonna be 2-1, probably 3 or 4 more wins away from anything big. But to answer your question, yeah, there are some promotions that aren't the UFC that have a big platform, probably the second or third biggest that we've got multiple fight offers for. So
Nice.
who knows? You might see me on there before too long.
I'm hoping so, man. I got to keep on winning some money. I won some money off Carl last time, so he was a big underdog in that fight. So that's awesome. And I'm sure it'll be, I mean, any day now. So, and like you said, keep on stacking up finish wins and you'll be there. I think with Sam Alvey said something similar to, like, it doesn't matter like the background. It doesn't matter if you're like a black belt in this or this. They want to see exciting fights, and that's why they'll keep you around. And they'll keep bringing those new guys in. So, I mean, you're right on that doorstep. Keep on doing what you're doing, and you'll be there. Let's see. All right, are there any new things you're doing in training? I know you did the CFFC grappling competition. You've done a couple other ones as well. Anything new that you're doing, just in general, not even for this fight?
No, man, sticking to the same formula that got me here. Obviously, between every camp, I'm adding new tools, upping my strength and conditioning, upping my fight IQ. But we stick to a winning formula. We don't change what works. I think that when you look at the best fighters in the world, obviously, I'm not saying I don't add new wrinkles into my game, but as far as the process, the training, we find that there's a great benefit in consistency in our work.
Right.
Yeah, no, I have done a little bit of pro grappling. I've done a lot of local tournaments, and that Fury grappling cards. I mean, that was I took a match short notice on that, but man, I mean that was one of the biggest pro jiu-jitsu cards of the year, like anywhere, you know, headlined by Clay Guida, headlined by Eric Anders, Andre Petrosky, who might be commentating here at these fights.
I know
So
he did last time. Yeah.
To get to go against, I mean, this dude was winning competitions at purple belt and blue belt before I'd ever even started training. So it was a good challenge for me. Like I said, I took it short notice. I think officially my match was announced 6 days before the actual event.
Nice.
So I kind of just jumped onto that stage, that big stage, last minute just to test my skills. And obviously it went my way that night. So cool to see where my jiu-jitsu is progressing. Man, I feel like my jiu-jitsu is at a new level.
Nice.
Is a great question. No. So sticking to the same training process, training 5 to 6 days a week, getting in a good mix of live and skill work. So that process is the same, but definitely have added a ton of new weapons to my game in between my last fight and now.
Nice. Okay. I mean, I think that's it. So if you have any parting words, any other shout outs you want to give, feel free.
Yeah, no, hey, thank you for the opportunity to come out and talk a little bit before my fight. Always appreciate coming on the right things.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, just tune in October 22nd. Excited to go out and perform. Shout out to my team at Bower House, Rob, Terry, Jason, Chris, Terry, Raiden, Mark will be on the card with me.
Nice.
And shout out to my high school wrestling team at Frederick High School. A couple of those boys are coming out to watch me fight.
Awesome. Wow, man. All right. So before we, all right. So real quick then, real quick then, because this always kind of gets me. My kids always ask me, like, "Oh, Coach Mike, do a competition with us, do one." And it's always in the back of my mind, it's like, I want to do it, but then if I go and do something wrong, they're going to be like, you said you were going to do this. How do you feel about that? Performing in front of the high school students.
Hey man, I go out and tell them, I'm not too hung up on the wins and the losses. I'm worried about how they perform, how they conduct themselves when
Right.
they perform. That's always what I'm more worried about. So I practice what I preach to them. I'm going out to represent myself well, to conduct myself in a manner where people look at me and they go, wow, man, that Luke Staley guy, like he's a good athlete, but he's a good competitor, but he's an even better person, right? The way he represents for me, being a Christian athlete, character, in a world where professional athletes seem to get more popular, the worse character they have.
Yeah.
And I just want them to see me step out and perform on a big stage. So they know that when I'm pushing them hard, when I'm telling them to train hard, they know that I would never ask them to do anything that I haven't done or would be willing to do myself. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, if I go and have a bad performance, that'll be embarrassing, but win, lose, or draw, I'm going to go out and give it my all. And I think that that's the most important.
I do feel like there might be a little bit of hazing, but for the most part, they do understand that, hey, he went through a weight cut, he went through a camp, he went in there and the door's locked and he went at it. So I think they do, for the most part, understand it. So that's pretty cool. I almost forgot. Are you going to shave your head for this one?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So
I'm
hang
gonna
on
keep
to
the
the
head
hair
of
while you
hair
got
for
it.
this
You
one.
got,
I look considerably better with the head of hair.
say with the kids coming, you got to hang on to some of the hair, some of your dad identity. So that's awesome. All right. Thanks again. As always, we're going to put your links and stuff below. Good luck, man. I mean, we're going to be
Thank you, Mike.
staying
I
tuned. So
appreciate it. Hope to see you there, brother.
okay, let's see.